In this video, we're going to talk about imposter syndrome. So I'm going to try and not cut this up whatsoever. If you see some jump cuts, then okay, maybe I failed. But basically, I get a lot of questions about this almost daily, specifically from people in Squarespace web design. Now, this is going to apply to all website designers, but in particular, I feel like in Squarespace, a lot of people feel like they're an amateur almost. It's like they don't give Squarespace as a platform the credit that it deserves. And so their internal beliefs are, oh, I can't charge over $1,000 or $2,000 for a Squarespace website. They think that's impossible. No one's going to pay that. And then in themselves, obviously, they doubt that they can deliver, if they were to land a client of that size or that caliber, they doubt that they can deliver the value of that money. And I get it. I absolutely get it. But it's just not the case. And so what I want to do in this video, and I'm going to timestamp it all, is just give you some actionable tips that have helped me with imposter syndrome, as well as trying to allay fears of, oh, I can't charge that, or no one will pay that, or I can't deliver at that level. Because, I mean, I'm proof. People in Six Figure Design Club are proof. People outside the Six Figure Design Club, still within the Squarespace sphere, they're proof. People are doing this. People are making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, maybe more, designing Squarespace websites. And so just the mere fact that people are doing this should suggest to you that this is possible. In fact, not just that it's possible, that it's kind of normal and you can do it. So I've got a list here. I'm going to go through as many as I can. Tick intros done. Now, what is imposter syndrome? So we'll kick off with this, just in case you landed on this video and you don't know what it is. So imposter syndrome, in a nutshell, is feeling like how would I best describe it? Feeling like you, are an imposter, that you're not qualified enough to deliver the service or the product that you sell. Feeling like you don't belong. So let's say I'm playing for a Premier League football club and, I don't know, if I was playing for a Premier League football club, I would definitely be an imposter. But I would imagine athletes at this level still have imposter syndrome. They feel like they're not good enough to play for the club. Same, that's the highest example. Actors will get the same thing. A leading actor or actress would probably get imposter syndrome. Oh, can I lead this multi-million-dollar film? Bring it all the way down to us as Squarespace web designers. Yeah, I mean, everyone is going to experience this. No matter what the level is, we're all going to feel like, should I be here? Why me? But the thing is, it's exceptionally hard to just walk into an opportunity. Opportunities don't just get given out willy-nilly. Opportunities, for the most part, get given to people who, okay, you could be in the right place at the right time, but they often get given to people who are most deserving. Or, even if they're not the most deserving, people who give the opportunities trust you to deliver on that opportunity. So I had this recently when I was at Squarespace headquarters in New York. And that was the last video that I did on this channel. Oh, hey, I'm talking on stage, blah, blah, blah. Now, that all went great. But for the maybe month or two leading up, I was like, I've never done public speaking before. I'm going to mess up. Why have I been picked? Like, there was 12 people out of the entire 100,000 Squarespace Circle members picked. Why me? Like, there's other better people, blah, 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 blah. All this internal monologue was going on. And sometimes you just have to accept that is going to be there. You can quieten the voice over time, but it's always going to be there. So I want to preface this whole video by saying you need to just accept that it's part and parcel of the game, of actually delivering something. And if you didn't have any, not inkling, any slither of imposter syndrome, it would be weird. It would like just not having, it would be like not having an internal dialogue whatsoever, which isn't great. So first off, accept that this is part of the game. It will dwindle over time. Like for me, when I was getting this imposter syndrome, I have it, obviously I have Six Figure Design Club and I have it. Even then, like, can I really teach hundreds of people how to make more money? Really? But then you have to, I'll come on to all the points, but basically you have to show yourself enough proof and just be almost, what's the word? You have to be stubborn with yourself. You have to be stubborn. So you have to basically have two minds. If you've read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, or whatever he's called, he's like, you have two minds. You have the whatever this is, and then the observer. You are the observer. And so you have to observe these thoughts and be like, well, I'm stubborn enough to be like, well, sod these thoughts. I'm just going to do it anyway. And that will, over time, quieten the, whatever you would call this front voice, this voice of doubt. So, went off on a complete tangent already. So the points were intro, imposter syndrome, my own experience with imposter syndrome, which we've been through. And then, okay, what can we actively do? So, in terms of what we can actively do, first off is accept it. You don't need to try and fight it and try and get rid of it because it's part of everyone. I don't think there's a single person who walks the earth who doesn't have a little bit of imposter syndrome. I'll caveat that and say a single person on this earth who's actually doing something of worth. You're not going to get imposter syndrome if you sat on the couch watching Netflix all day. Because imposter syndrome only happens when you're doing something good in life, or worth doing, or beneficial to either yourself or the world. So just know that if you do experience imposter syndrome, you are doing something of worth. And I think that in itself is enough to quieten the voice and say, actually, hey, I'm doing something for myself or for the wider community, or whatever it is. I'm doing something good, and that's why I feel like this. And therefore, imposter syndrome, ipso facto, is a good feeling in a roundabout way. So I've got 1A and 1B here. Always accept that it will be there, which you've just been through. And then B, recognize that only you are scrutinizing yourself this hard. Nobody else is. So this is actually, if I do say so myself, a really good point. Now, nobody else looks at you and looks at every single perceived flaw that you have and analyzes it in such detail, unless they're a stalker, in which case you've got bigger things to worry about. But you will scrutinize yourself and kick yourself 100 times more than what somebody else would. Somebody else would maybe see you. I mean, we can all be judgmental at times, but they will see you. They'll maybe it's an Instagram story or a YouTube video or whatever. You are in their vision for 10 seconds, and then you're gone. Then you're out of their mind. They don't care. And the thing is, most people's thoughts about you are going to be positive anyway. They're not going to be negative. And so, like, for instance, when I was on stage at Circle Day, I messed up. What happens? And so, I didn't mess up. I just forgot my lines because I was like super nerded out on like, these are my lines, blah, 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 blah. And then I had a blank. So I was like, oh. But then I just literally stood on stage in front of all these thousands of people online, hundreds of people in the room, and I just went, and then got back to it. Like, it felt like an eternity, but I watched it back and it was like 2 or 3 seconds. So nothing crazy. No one noticed. No one. It was like, no one cares. Nobody cares. I could have got on that stage, done 10 cartwheels, stripped off, and just like yelled at the top of my voice, come off. And after 10 minutes of everyone going, that was strange. No one would care. Like the next speaker would go on and talk about Squarespace and whatever. And that would be it. I mean, okay, yes, sometimes someone may bring it up in the future, like, oh, do you remember when you done those cartwheels on stage and was naked? Oh, yeah. So they're not going to think of that every moment of every day like you would, or like I would if I did that. So what I'm trying to say is no one cares. No one cares if you do well. No one cares if you do bad. And so you may as well just do. This is the thing. Oh, you should get that tattoo. No one cares if you do well. No one cares if you do bad. So just do. That was good, that. Anyway, no one cares. So you may as well just do the thing that you want to do without the prohibitive shackles of imposter syndrome. So you almost have to look at it and just be like, well, okay, I accept it. No one cares. I care, but I'm just going to do it anyway. Because if I don't do it, no one cares. If I do it, no one cares. So why aren't I doing it? And then you have to look internally. Okay, why aren't I doing it? Am I afraid to fail? Okay, well, yes. Is that the only thing you're afraid to do? Well, yeah, I guess. If you break down the fear of, or the self-belief of, I can't do this, it's only because you are realistically, you are afraid to fail. You know it's possible because you see people do it. The only thing holding you back from taking on a big project or charging big money for a project is you don't think that you can. And the beautiful thing about that is you only have to do it once and then you've proved it to yourself. Proof of concept is the most powerful thing in this specific scenario. So I'm going to do this for web designers. All you have to do is be stubborn. So say, okay, I recognize it. Whatever. I'm just going to do it anyway. Sorry, future me. I'm going to put you in an awkward position. Not me. I'm going to put you in an awkward position because it's not you having the thought now that's going to suffer. It's you in 10 minutes who's about to hop on that call. You in 30 minutes who's about to send that $10,000 proposal. That person's going to suffer, not you. So if you look at it like that, it's easier to make the decision right now because it's not you right now who's going to suffer. In reality, no one's going to suffer. You're only going to thrive because let's say you send a $5,000 proposal. Well, then the client may say no. Okay, well, hey client, why did you say no? And then you can get the feedback. Feedback is a gift when it comes to being better, charging more, being a better business person, all of this. Feedback and the utilization of that feedback is what's going to get us from point A to point B. If you don't get feedback, if you just try and do everything yourself with no external input, that's what keeps you stuck. I see it time and time again. People won't spend a few $100s for a consultation with me. People won't spend a couple of $1,000s for an entire program from me. They won't spend any money because they don't want external input. They are scared to take any form of leap. And that is what holds people back. It doesn't have to be money, but it's that switch. It's that, hey, I'm going to do this thing and put myself out there where it's not just me sort of judging myself. Because it's difficult. Like when you put yourself in the gaze of others, it can be quite a vulnerable stage. But to come back to the point, feedback is what is going to get you from here to here. And so the fact of the matter is you just have to do it. You have to do it. No matter what you think up here, the only way through imposter syndrome or to quieten let's just call it the imposter. The only way to quieten the imposter is to practice time and time again, putting yourself in these positions, putting yourself in a position where you've charged twice the amount you usually would. Okay, you may fail, but you will know why you failed. I am telling you now, some clients just won't have the money. That's okay. But you are missing out on thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars of money that you could have charged just because you didn't ask for it. And so the more no's you get, the more feedback you get, the more yeses you will get. So instead of having to do 5 $1,000 jobs, you may get 2 of those jobs at $2,500. You may fail 3. Or not fail, you may get feedback on 3 that you didn't land. The thing is now you're used to a higher status quo. So your baseline goes from 1 to 2.5k. And instead of having to juggle 5 different clients, it's just 2. So it's okay to fail in the pursuit of pushing up your own price floor. That's okay. I feel like in this video, a lot of it is just reassurance that it's possible and that you need to just go and do it. You need to charge higher rates and you need to take on more difficult clients. The more you fail, the more you learn. It's never actually a failure. It's just, you are always learning. And sometimes you just need to fake it. So I'm a big proponent of people who are just starting out of fake it till you make it. Because if you just put on this facade to a client like, hey, yeah, I've done this a million times, and you come across with that sort of persona, that aura of, yeah, it's 2.5k. And, you don't give away anything, poker face, then eventually it does become true. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I am this person who charges this much and I work this way. It does become true. Just because you've never done it before doesn't mean that you can't. And so that's really important. If you are afraid to quote a higher figure or take on a bigger client, just fake it, make it, and then figure it out on the back end. Never give anything away on the front. It should always be, hey, you can see this little bit of me on the screen. Confidence for 5 or 10 minutes. That's all you have to deliver. And then you have all this time afterwards to figure it out with no pressure of anyone watching you or asking you questions. Everything else can be over email. Everything else can be researched on ChatGPT or a forum or a Facebook group. You've got people in your corner who will help you figure it out. Basically, every request when it comes to web design or Squarespace web design, it can be fulfilled. You just need to ask other people. Ask. Put yourself in front of as many people as possible and your imposter syndrome will dwindle. This is another, now I'm saying it, quite a core concept is being able to get in front of people. Like, it is scary, but the more you can ask for help, put yourself in a vulnerable position for feedback from clients or peers, and be self-reflective of your own practices and try and implement that feedback, the quicker you'll make progress. I guess all of this, honestly, could just be summed up by shut up, get out there in the nicest way possible. Like, it's always going to be there. No one cares. You need to put yourself in front of clients and your peers and fake it until you make it. Now, there's a few more points I want to come on to, but those 5 core, what would we call them, pillars, they will, over time, quieten the imposter. Now, we've got a few more things here. So stack undeniable receipts. Confidence comes from competence, and then reflect, adapt, proceed. So these can all kind of be grouped into one. So we'll start with stack undeniable receipts. I talked about this right at the start. You need to stack a body of work that is just undeniable. So I do this. I have taught 250,000 people on YouTube how to make a better Squarespace website. I have had 500,000 people, over 500,000 people, maybe even 1 million on my blog over the past 5 years. I've taught them how to build better Squarespace websites. I've built over 450 Squarespace websites. I teach 250, maybe more, Squarespace designers in my 6-Figure Design Club program, how to scale their income. And there's another course, it's a larger program that I'm part of, that I coach in to thousands of students on how to begin. So rank beginners, how do you begin a Squarespace design company? I teach all these people, but I still have these niggling doubts of, can I really do this? Is this me? why me? But then you look at the stats that I've just reeled off and you go, oh, actually, they have done this. Here is the proof of how much money they're making. Here are all the websites, or some of the websites that I've helped build. Here are the websites that people who've watched my videos have built. All of these people have had results. And so I look at this stack of receipts and I think, okay, well, it's impossible for me to have any doubt. If I look at it realistically, how can I possibly, if this was someone else and they had all of these amazing achievements, would I doubt them? No, of course I wouldn't, because it's someone else, it's not me. If it was someone else, I would not scrutinize them to this degree. But because it's me, I have a niggling sense of doubt. But if you have these receipts, it doesn't go away, but it just goes as far as possible away without going away forever. Because it's undeniable. So for you, what you would have to do is just start to creep up the amount you charge, creep up the amount of websites you build until you look back, and these are only small increments. It could go from 1,000 to 1,500. People have messaged me and say, Sam, I was never charging these rates. I saw a YouTube video or a Instagram short that you did, and I just thought, all right, sod it. I'm going to charge 3K. Oh my God, it landed. It didn't land for the first 2 clients, but on the third, it did. This is my new baseline. Imagine I land 2, 3 more. That's 10K. That's guru maths, obviously, but that's how it goes. You land one. That is proof of concept. That's an undeniable receipt. Once you've done that time and time again over a year, you may have gone to 5, 10K per website and stacked 5 of those. And then you've built all these sites, delivered the site, you've had all of this feedback from your peers and from clients, and so your service is 10 times what it was. You're more confident, because confidence or competence equals confidence. Because you've had more time in the game, you're more comfortable at this level of charging and delivering. You are competent. You have undeniable receipts. You've got proof of concept. You've delivered. And so you are competent. You know the platform, whatever platform you use, you know it inside out. You know how to deliver at this level. And so that doubt just goes all the way down because it's undeniable. And you're confident on calls, and so you land more clients. Because you're so confident, you're able to talk better on the calls. You're able to charge higher rates because you're confident in your ability. And it's just this cycle where you get more confident, more competent. The voice of the imposter, it goes all the way down. And so you are able to then charge, but you have to start. You have to take that first step. What's the saying? It's like the journey of, 10,000 miles or whatever starts with one step. You can't get to 10,000 miles without taking the first step. And so for you, you have to just charge a little bit more than what you have previously done. It may be scary, but so many people have walked this path before you. It's impossible to deny that people are doing it. So why not you? Why? It is impossible for you to deny that this is possible. So that would be my biggest takeaway. So many people are doing it. So many people have done it. You just have to take the first step. It sounds simple, and that's because it is. It's not easy, but it is simple. So that is what I will leave you on. It's not easy, but it is simple. So go through all the steps that we've been through today. Try and apply them. Go away. Don't marinate on this. Don't sit on it. Go away right now. Look at your pipeline and start trying to charge those people higher rates. That's where it all starts. A slightly higher rate, then a slightly higher rate, then double your rate. Web design professionals can do this because our rate of improvement and the product that we can give to clients is infinite. We can just get better and better and better so quickly. And so our rates can rise just as quickly, if not quicker. Go away, implement now. Implement, iterate. Just make a start. I don't know how many buzzwords I can fit into a minute, but that was quite a lot. So I'll leave it at that. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to leave a like and hit subscribe. And if you want to join 6 Figure Design Club, which is my coaching program, the link is in the description. It's application only. I only want the best of the best. So you can submit an application and we'll follow up and take it from there.